With older photos, there's a good chance that you'll find a lot of blemishes to clean up, and that can be both things that appeared in the original scene that you'd prefer to get rid of, as well as various causes of damage over time. It might be dust from an enlargement that was printed, or scratches or other damage to a transparency, for example. But the point is, with an older photo, there's a good chance there's going to be a lot of image cleanup work to do. Fortunately, there's one tool in particular in Photoshop that can make easy work of a variety of image cleanup tasks, and that tool is the Spot Healing Brush tool. Let's take a look at how we can use the Spot Healing Brush tool to clean up various blemishes within a photo. I'm going to start off by creating a new empty image layer. At the bottom of the Layers panel, I'll click on the Create New Layer button, the blank sheet of paper icon, and then I'll double-click on the name of that layer and rename it. I'll go ahead and just type Cleanup, for example, and then press Enter or Return. I do highly recommend that you rename these pixel-based layers that you create for image cleanup so that you won't be confused later as to why that layer is there and what it was used for. With the image cleanup layer created, I'll go ahead and choose the Spot Healing Brush tool from the toolbox. I'll then check the options bar to make sure the settings are as I would like them. The most important settings here are to take advantage of the Content Aware technology for the Type option and to turn on the Sample All Layers checkbox so that we can actually work on an empty layer while still copying pixels from the background image layer. That's all that's involved in terms of a basic configuration of the Spot Healing Brush tool. The only other thing I'll want to do is to adjust the brush size. I can use the left square bracket key on the keyboard to reduce the brush size, or the right square bracket key on the keyboard to increase the brush size. Generally speaking, you'll want a brush that is sized no larger than the object that you're trying to clean up. I also recommend working with a hard-edged brush. So from the brush pop-up, you'll want to make sure that that hardness is set to 100%. And that's because Photoshop is going to perform the blending for you. You don't need to have a blended edge for the brush. I'll go ahead and zoom in on some of the areas here that could use to be cleaned up just a little bit. You can see some horse droppings in the middle of the street, for example. If I want to remove them, all I need to do is paint over those areas with the Spot Healing Brush tool, and that area of the image will be cleaned up automatically. So I can continue in this manner, cleaning up the various blemishes, in this case what has been left behind by some of the horses, so that I can improve the overall appearance of the photo. Of course, zooming into other portions of the image, you might find other blemishes. Up here in the sky, for example, there appears to be a few blemishes. I can simply click and paint over those blemishes in order to remove them from the image. And because I'm using the Content Aware option, the effect should blend in very, very well with surrounding areas of the photo. So I'll go ahead and clean up all of the various blemishes that I see in this photo. I obviously have a little bit more work to do, but by turning off the visibility for the cleanup layer and then turning it back on, you can see that those blemishes reappear when I turn off the visibility for this layer, but then the blemishes disappear when I have that layer turned on. So I can simply continue working, adjusting the brush size as needed as I continue removing blemishes from the photo. And you can see it's a very, very simple process. All I need to do really is to configure things initially and then identify for Photoshop which areas of the image I'd like it to clean up. And once I've done that, it will perform that cleanup work automatically.